and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Hip Hop and Anime Vibes. I am your host, DTown, aka Pusha T Chala, aka Eric Trillmonger, aka Mr. If I Ruled the World. And I am joined today by none other than...
Yeah, what's up? This is Chatty Patty, aka Celestial Dragon, aka this is my pirate ship, aka Stand Back. I got a couple of dragon fruits on me, aka I'm Super Saiyan. But yeah, that's it from Black Ramen Podcast. I couldn't do it as good as you did. You definitely blew me out the world. I'm like, yeah. He's
Yo, man, I appreciate it. Thank you. That's me keeping it light. I've got like 2.5 minutes worth of AKAs. If anybody wants the AKA smoke, you know what I mean?
They don't want it. They don't want it.
Nah,
they don't want
it. But we're going to get into today's episode. So for those of you who, excuse me, I promise I can talk. I'm just so excited because I have somebody so dope in the building. For those of you guys who don't know, Black Ramen is a blurred podcast that got on my radar here within the past few months. Since then, I've sat down, I've listened to every episode, and I decided to extend my hands and bring one of the crew members on here. So, Patty, please tell us a little bit about Black Ramen. What's the podcast about? What can listeners expect when they tune into it?
I feel so, I'm about to cry. I feel so humble. Black Ramen is an all black, all otaku, all blurred podcast. We talk about anime, manga, character development. We raw. So if something's trash, we're going to tell you if we think it's trash. But it's our personal opinion. With a lot of New York swag, you might hear us eat a chopped cheese while we got the mic on. You never know. But yeah, we just try to keep it raw, uncut, and as real as possible, and make sure you get a little, we want it, first and foremost, it's all black. We want it all black. We don't have enough representation out here. So it's like, we want to make sure that we are the voices that you can actually hear and be like, hey, you know what? They actually have an avenue. Yeah, we make an avenue for us. For everybody that look like us. So y'all can relate to certain character developments that we talk about and how we say we want more black content. We support black artists and black writers, and you'll get it here first. You'll get, one of us. Well, you definitely got hip hop and anime vibes over there, definitely doing that thing. So yeah, we just try to be just as informative with, black content as much as we can. So.
And that's the one thing that I will say about you guys, because I'm following you guys on Instagram, and in between episodes, you guys find like the coolest content, like from like black creators or whatever, like across the internet. Like, I'm not on TikTok because I'm old and washed, but you guys be pulling like some of the coolest stuff from TikTok, some of the coolest stuff from just all over the net. And I just want to ask, like, why do you guys feel it's important to showcase content in that way on your platform?
Oh, because they black. I mean, other than that, yeah. But I mean, the thing is, we want to support all content creators, especially in TikTok. They don't get the support that they need, definitely. So if somebody comes out with content, they won't get the views, they won't get the likes because of the way TikTok works. For some reason, TikTok is prejudiced as fuck. They racist as fuck. Mm-hmm. They can have 2 videos, one done by a non-black person, a white person, and then the black person will do the same video. But they'll make sure that white person gets more views and more content on that For You page than the black content creator. So I make sure I tag all the dope content creators I find on TikTok, and I say, hey, listen, I'm posting you because I love their shit. Rock with us. Fuck with us. So now people, when they see the content, they're like, yo, they got some funny shit on their page, yo. Let me follow them. Not to mention, let me follow that cool sis that did that awesome artwork. So that's what we try to do, just to promote other black content creators, because that's A1 mission. So
yeah, I think I agree with you. I think it's really dope to signal boost dope creators in that way, and also make sure that they are getting credit as well. So we're going to take a step back here real quick. So Black Ramen, big crew, whole lot of gang shit. No, not a gang from that perspective, but...
No, we a gang. Gang.
All right, let me put some respect on the set's name, man. But I would like to know, because I know you guys are New York AF. Like, you know, I listen to you guys and I can hear the different parts of New York.
Oh, yes.
I want to get to know a little bit more about your origin story. I would like to know, like, how you guys linked up and decided to become a collective and start a podcast.
All right. So, me personally, I couldn't find an avenue where I could talk to other nerds at this point. So, like, this happened like 5 years ago. So somebody told me, I went on Google to see if I can go to a meetup where, you know, nerds hang out and they just talk about cool shit. So I went online and Googled Meetup, and there's actually an app called Meetup. Right. Shout out to my man Enzo. He has a meetup every other Saturday before Corona hit. Okay. And basically it was just a bunch of nerds getting together, talking, and, you know, talk about their top 5, or, you know, can they beat Goku though? So I loved it, and I realized there were more people of color in this meetup. So I was like, yo, we in here. Yeah. And then I started really vibing, and then I was like, yo, I noticed that I have a voice. Like, I'm really boisterous about this shit. I talk like a dude. I don't really care. Like, if you come for my characters, I'm really, we about to go. You ever see the dude in the lunchroom when they be beatboxing? And yo, I'm not the beatboxer, but I wait for my homie after he get his butter crunch cookies and he start beating. That's me. I'm like, yo, this is my shit. This is my set. I'm going in. Go ahead. So that was me every time on a cypher where we got to these meetups, right? So one by one, I would be introduced by some dope ass people, and I'm like, okay, I need you, and I need you. So I met Bree, sipping her tea. Yep. I met her at the meetup. I met Honey Bunny Gabby at the meetup. And then I met Derby at the meetup. Kevin. My right-hand man. I actually met him at an event called Defend the North that they have every year. It's like a gaming event. And we just started talking, him and his friends, right? We was just talking, and we was like, yeah, we here, but not a lot of us. I'm like, yeah, I know. Right? So we felt safe because there wasn't a lot of Black people at the event. So we started chopping up, we started talking. And then I always had the idea I wanted to do a podcast, but I wanted to be all Black, unapologetically fucking Black. Like midnight, I don't care. Like I wanted it Black. I love it. So when I brought this apart, like certain people, they would ask me like, why does it have to be all Black? Now, as a content creator, you got to ask yourself, how do I answer this question without getting in your face and get emotional and want to fuck you up? Right. I mean, we gotta be mature about certain shit. What hurt me more was another Black person that asked me that, and I'm like, don't do this to me. I love me, man. I love my people. I want something for my people. I want something for people. I want to do something that when I look at all my listeners, they look like me and they understand the struggle. Like they understand the fact that we have no place to speak when it comes to shit that we like. We used to get bullied. We used to get beat up. See, I'm from the old generation. I kept all this shit in the raps. I never advertised the fact that I read manga, read comic books. None of that shit. Like, none of that. So I wanted an avenue where I could talk about the shit that I like and for other motherfuckers to vibe with my shit and really understand, like, hey, you know what? I got flavor and I could put it on these. Like, let's be real. Some of these animes and mangas, they're all about the Black struggle. All of it is about the Black struggle without the Black faces. Let's be real. Yeah. That's why we resonate with some of these characters and some of they level up so hard, because we understand the struggle. We understand we don't get shit. We gotta work twice as hard just to get half of what this motherfucker got. So that's why we resonate with some of these characters so much. But Kevin understood that, and he was like, "Yo, I'm down. What what's up? What's good?
Right.
So then we got together and I said, yo, I want to do a podcast. And I was waiting how they was going to react. And it was like, all right, if you want to do it, let's do it. I'm like, nah. I want you hype. Yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And they totally supported me, but I didn't know how to do it. So the funny thing is the first, when I Googled Black Podcast, I ran into your podcast.
Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up.
No. I'm
Patty, don't gas me up on this platform. Don't gas me up like that, fam.
No, it's real. It's real. I remember it was a Saturday. It was a Saturday morning. I woke up because I was about to go to the meetup. And then I played your podcast on my Apple TV because I had Spotify. Wait, I think I had Apple Podcast. And I listened to your episode. It was an episode you had, and it was so soulful. It was so dope. You had background music. I'm like, yo, this nigga lit, yo. I was just so fucking impressed. And I was like, yo, I want this. I was a little upset that it wasn't longer than it should have been. Mm-hmm. And it had so much swag that you were able to talk dolo and then keep the content still fresh and innovative. And you was just I was like, man, I can't do this shit by myself. And that's when that put the fire in my ass. I'm like, nah, I gotta do this. I gotta do it. After that episode, I was like, nah, I gotta do it. I'm gonna do it. And I came to the meetup early. I'm always late though. Always late. But that Saturday, I woke up, got there early. I'm like, yo, my niggas, we gotta do this. Come on, A1, come on, get the rings together. Let's go. So that's how the podcast came about.
I love it, man. I'm happy I could inspire you in that way. And I'll share something. Oh, yeah. I'll share something with you. The reason the podcasts, when I do them dolo, are so short is because I know if you give me an extended period of time just to rant, and also human attention, I know me personally, after about 15 minutes, I tune everything out. And I know after roughly around that 20, 25 minute mark, just me going, I can't keep it fresh. So I have to kind of take my foot up off the gas. But I'm glad that, and also taking a step back, I really like your response to why is it a Black podcast? Because we, as Black nerds, as Black geeks, and coming from the era that we come from, we have had a very different experience. And when we go to certain places, we run into certain obstacles, certain roadblocks, and there's all this content out there. And like you said, it doesn't have our voice. We don't see people that look like us. And why not at that point in time, since you have the ability to create something dope and connect with those people, why not do that? You know what I mean? So I fucks with it. So we're going to pivot here a little bit and talk about Black content and Black content creators. In pre-production, of course, we talked about how important Black content creators are and how important Black content is just to the game in general. But I want you to share your stance on Black content in general when it comes to just not only anime, but comics as well. What's your standpoint on it? Do we need more of it? And what do we need more of?
We definitely need more of writing more Black characters, not just Black characters. I need more characters done by Blacks. I don't want non-Black writers, non-Black illustrators drawing Black characters. Because see, when shit happens like that, you get a Mr. Popo. You get a Sister Chrome from Promised Neverland. And it's funny because at the end of the day, they quick to get our drip. They quick to get the drip down to a T. They will have Asian people rap, trap music, all that in the theme and the opening and the ending songs, and they sound fire. Low-key, I ain't gonna hold you, it's fire. But after that, and they'll even have the swag, the sneaks, the drip. But then when it comes to actually drawing and creating these characters that look like us, they drop the ball. So at this time, I used to get mad, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna get mad anymore. What more can I expect from an artist or a creator if they're not to create characters that look like me that they not like me? Mm-hmm. How are they supposed to know how to draw my hair texture? He ain't black.
Yeah.
Like he ain't he can't do that.
He never dated a sister.
Facts. That is so facts. Like, you don't know, like, how are you supposed to know how to draw lips like mine without making it look like jigaboo-ish and shit like that? Like, they don't know. They don't know. I'm not giving them a pass on that, but they're not obligated to finesse and execute drawing black characters. So I'm not expecting that from them. I need black creators, black writers. You know what's sad? I'm an artist. Reading comic books made me pick up a pencil and I draw ridiculously. I was addicted to it before, my parents told me I can't do the shit because I need to focus on going to school and shit. They crushed my dream a little bit, but it's not their fault. It's how they're raised. Back in that generation, they looked at it as it not having an avenue for blacks. Yeah. So they was like, you want to be an artist? That's not for you. You don't have the complexion for that. That's their mindset. Uh-huh. So for years, I was drawing characters I saw in the comic books and making my own. It took me 5 years from being an artist to realize I haven't drawn a black character yet. The reason I picked up on it was because I had a friend of mine who was in my major art class. It was like, yo, you don't draw black people?
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what you mean? I draw people. He said, you don't draw black people? I was like, fuck. So I went through my book and I'm like, damn, I haven't drawn not one black person ever since I picked up this pencil. It's been 5 years into this craft and I haven't. It's representation. Mm-hmm. If I don't see it in the comic book, I'm not going to practice. I'm not going to draw it because all I see is white faces. Mm-hmm. All I see is white superheroes. All I see is even white villains. Yeah. So I'm just like, and I'm like, it didn't hit me until I realized, like, damn, where's my milestone? Like, Milestone Comics was the shit. And even though it was limited access to it, I couldn't get to it because, I ain't have money to go to comic book stores like that. And some comic book stores weren't even pushing fucking DC Comics like that, especially Milestone. They were pushing DC, but they were pushing Milestone because it was black as fuck. I love Milestone. Yeah. But that's why I feel like it's so important to have black content, black creators. Like, you don't even know the poison. Because that's crazy for me not to draw any black people as a black artist. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. I don't want that to happen to another artist. I don't want them to see the beauty in drawing black. But we flash fuck. Why would you not want to try to put all this in the canvas? Like, come on. So I just want to have young content creators also, or young future artists, to understand that you could do this. You could definitely draw yourself, and you are all the drip. Yeah, all the drip. Yeah. That's it.
I will say that because that's spot on. That's accurate as a motherfucker. I'll share a quick story with you and then we'll move on. Everything that you said is the reason why Cannon Busters has a special place in my heart. Hold up, let me finish, please, because I know it catches a lot of flames. But me and my younger brother, we had a similar path where we would draw anime because we were really into the shit. And we realized there weren't any black characters early on. So one of the characters that we created was a black version of Vash the Stampede, and we called him Bullet Literature. And he had this big blue overcoat, this huge afro with the crisp lineup, and he carried a cannon on his back. And he was a mercenary and all this cool shit, all the cool anime tropes rolled into one. So when Cannon Busters came out and I seen it had all of these cool anime tropes rolled into one, it really reminded me of my childhood, and where kind of me and my brother found a desire to create dope shit. While we didn't necessarily go on to create mangas, we went on to create music and instrumentals and rap and express ourselves in that way. But to tie everything together and make everything full circle, representation is important, because if you don't see that, if you're not experienced to that, it really changes how you interact with the art form and how you view yourself. So I fucks with it. Cannon Busters, you a fan? Yes, no, maybe?
Shout out to LaShawn Thompson. I love LaShawn Thomas. He's amazing. Thank you for Cannon Busters. I just feel like, damn, I don't want to do this because I love his work. It's just that, I just wish it was executed a lot better, man. We were waiting for this. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. I just wanted it to be, oh man. You see, me and my crew, we have this thing where we don't talk about Cannon Busters unless we're talking about it with an all-black crew. If other non-black people are in the group, we don't talk about it because we're like, Cannon Busters is the best shit walking. This is the best shit you'll ever see ever. Yeah. But I'm just not gonna talk bad about Cannon Busters. I love it. I like the animation style. I like the soundtrack. I just wanted more. I just wanted it to be executed more. And I feel like he could do it because he's a dope
he is.
person. He's a dope artist. I saw him on a documentary on Netflix and I was like, man, I think he speaks like 3 different languages. I think he speaks Japanese and I think he speaks Korean. I'm like, yo, you out here. Like, yeah,
man.
What? And then what's crazy is while he's out there, he still got a lineup. He's still Chris. I'm like, yo, what pub would you go to that they can still catch you like this? I'm like, yo, he is the epitome of black excellence. But I'm still, I just wanted more from Cannon Busters.
I will say this about Cannon Busters, and then we'll transition. Every terrible anime that I watch or every anime that I stop watching, in my mind, I'm like, Cannon Busters was way better than this shit. like I had a hard time getting into Brand New Animal because I was like, this shit's corny as fuck. And then I was like, Cannon Busters shit's all over this. I promise you that. Like, but anyway. Talking about black content and black representation. A big film came out a couple years ago, Black Panther. Everyone loved Black Panther. Huge movie. All these records and all that crazy shit. I tune into you guys' podcast to hear you say Wakanda was ass. Ma'am. I know I'm a casual Marvel fan. I don't fully understand the Marvel universe. So I'm going to allow you to use this platform to walk me through what was ass about Wakanda and what Wakanda should have looked like.
So this is how you gonna do me like this? while we're recording, you wasn't able to come like, you just went full throttle like, bitch, what the fuck? Like,
I'm sorry. I could run it back. I could clean it up. I could be a little bit more like.
No. I want all the smoke.
I could Dan Rather this shit real quick. So, man, back in December of 2019, and you said, and I quote, like.
Wow, you gonna quote me? Wow. Okay. First and foremost, I think Black Panther was historical for the records it broke, for the representation. First of all, that album, the soundtrack I had that on repeat for a couple of months. That shit was amazing. Kendrick Lamar was dope. I loved it. SZA, I loved her. The problem is, right? I felt that the whole perception, how I see Wakanda, I'm seeing a lot of futuristic, just it being more futuristic. This right here just made it look like, I don't know, it wasn't as bright as I wanted to see it. Mm-hmm. Like they still kept it to some of the culture that they tried to adapt from African cultures, and with the earrings and the lips. I thought that was cool. The waterfall scene was beautiful. It's just that when we got to Wakanda, the city, I'm like, what is this? Mm-hmm. What is this? We shouldn't even, I wasn't cool with having the marketplaces outside like that. Yeah. I wanted it to be more modern. I wanted more space. I wanted more futuristic cars. all over the place. That's just not how I wanted it. I didn't think that it represented Wakanda for what it was, because we're talking about a place that is closed down. Nobody knew how advanced Wakanda was. Like, they had a whole fucking fake ass projector letting you see all you saw was plain. All you saw was just desert shit. Like, they didn't want you to know that once you go right through this shit, it's magic. Mm-hmm. I did not feel that magic. I didn't feel that magic. I wanted to see it to be more modernized. Like, I wanted to see the streets. I wanted to see highways. I wanted to see all that shit, which Africa does have. Mm-hmm. If you look this up, Africa is one of the first continents that actually had highways before we ever did them here. So I'm just like, I wanted to see that shit. Mm-hmm. I ain't see that. So that's all I wanted. Everything else, yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. I saw Black Panther like twice.
Yeah.
Like, they was gonna get all my money because I needed it. They had to because I needed more. Because if they do well with this, we're gonna see more content. We're gonna see more Black content. But at the same time too, I don't want white Hollywood doing Black content, regardless of who the director is. The money that I want going in, I want our own studios. I want our own Tyler Perry without it being fucking Black exploitation. I want our own fucking Black studios with real fucking Black artists, real Black writers, really putting out Black content. I don't want Hollywood to be like, well, let's throw them a bone. Let's throw these Black folks a bone. They came out for this shit. No, I don't want you doing none of that. But at the same time too, we gotta crawl before we walk. So I still want children to see Black superheroes and that we out here. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for Brother Voodoo to come out. It's a wrap. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do when Brother Voodoo come out. I was waiting for that in Doctor Strange. When this motherfucker come out, it's a wrap. All my Haitians better pull up. Like, it's a wrap. I'm coming there with a Haitian flag the size of the whole fucking stadium in the back. Like, you don't understand. But I just want it to be normalized for kids, especially kids. Like, this is a great time for them right now, aside from the fact of the pandemic. Growing up, like I said before, this shit was hard for us. You had some parents weren't supporting Black kids when it came to art, when it came to really liking their shit. Comic books, I didn't have money for comic books. I had one friend. When he was finished with his series, he'll slide them over to me if he felt like it, because that motherfucker was a bitch too at the end of the day. But still, understand, it's not their fault for parents to not support their children's dreams. At the day, you got to remember the climate. So it's like, you don't want your kids to set themselves up for failure, but at the same time too, you have to give them nourishment so they can grow, so they can flourish. You're killing a talent. There's a reason why they're talented. But at the same time too, I just want to see more Wakanda. That's all.
I respect it. And you know what? I apologize for framing that question that way. In retrospect, it can be taken as she didn't like Black Panther, the movie. What the fuck? Like, no, not the movie Wakanda. I should have made that part very, very clear. I don't want them lighting up your mentions, talking about she wildin'. Nah, not that. But I will say to the impact that it can have on kids. The first superhero that I was truly interested in was Batman in the 1990s Batman movie, Michael Keaton. Yes. I had that on VHS. Like, you don't understand. Fam, I was so drawn into the character. For the first 8 years of my life. Like, I like Batman so much. I'm like, he could do this, he could do that. Like, I wanted to be a millionaire guy that fought crime. But if I had Black Panther, I'd have been like, Nick, I wish I would have known at 8. I could have been a fucking prince in Africa. You know what I mean?
Right.
Representation is important in that way. And also when it comes to my creative journey, as far as my parents supporting us when we were young, me and my brother, they looked at us from the standpoint of, because we came from a small city, but crime was still bad there. They were like, listen, if they not outside shooting nobody, robbing nobody, knocking no girls up, if we know that they just upstairs like drawing comic books and working on music and they not in the streets, we just gonna lean into that. Y'all do what y'all want to do. As long as y'all ain't doing none of that other shit, y'all cool. So I will say that, like, if I'm not a parent yet, but if I were to have children, I would kind of take a look at the situation from there. Like, are you harming yourself or anybody else? Okay, little nigga, you want to collect pogs? All right, you know, I fully support you in your pog collecting habits.
Yeah, but you don't see how dangerous that is. Like, you see, when I used to go to these meetups, right, I used to talk to everybody goes through these, don't go through these introductions at the meetup. Like, oh, what got you into comic? When you talk to these white kids, they're like, oh, my father has a collection in the basement and he let me, you know, go through them. Or my father used to take me to conventions all the time. Or my mom, she the one that got me these Yu-Gi-Oh cards and all this shit. When you ask black kids how they got into it, it's very rare you hear them say, well, my dad gave me his stash, blase, blase, blah. Or, no, the stories are totally different. And that's sad, though, because you, as a parent, like, I'm getting older now. You know, I don't have kids yet, but, you know, you're thinking about it. And when that time comes, you want to be able to be prepared, because I know my kid going to be flawless because it's mine. So my thing is, like, how am I supposed to encourage my kid to do what they want to do? Like, you can't, the mindset of, well, at least they're not doing that. White folks don't think about that. White folks is like, well, Jimmy, you're so freaking talented. You know, let's just go to Michael's or Pearl Paint and get him some utensils and let him draw his heart out. Nah. Black folks, we got the thing is like, well, he ain't, you know, doing some nigga shit outside. Like, you know, at least he's in the house. At least I know where he at. That's not, you know, I get it. They letting you do what you want to do as long as you're not hurting anybody. But I kind of wanted my parents to be like, yo, I totally support you. This is dope. This is dope. When's the next time your art? I had a piece that went in a bank. I drew something. I forgot what it was. And it was so weird. My mom and dad and my brother